I love film photography. A good portion of my life has been captured on film. That's me in high school. And I've captured a good amount of my family, a good amount of my friends, and a lot of my early photography was on film. In fact, the film process is a big reason why I was even interested in photography. But it can get a little pricey to develop film now.
Hi, I was just looking to develop some film.
Yeah, it'll be anywhere from $18 to $33. And have a good day.
Thank you, you too. I'm not stopping by. I'm gonna do it at home.
This is the first camera that I ever used. It's the Olympus Infinity Mini, and I borrowed it from my dad. And this is the first photo I ever shot. It's my brother Chris, and that's my buddy Mario. Christmas Eve, the year 2000. And believe it or not, I still use this camera today. This is my go-to pocket camera, a point and shoot that I could carry when I want spontaneous, fun photos. And a plus side, it can easily be passed around to the friend group. Now I filled up a couple rolls of film, and I'm gonna show you guys how to develop them at home. You're gonna need a few things. So the first thing we have to do is check the back of our film to see what chemical process it uses to be developed. Not all chemicals develop all film. I like to use C41. It's very common and it's just a process that I'm used to by now. So I ended up going to Freestyle Photo since it's in the LA area where I live and picked up all my supplies there. I ended up going with the 1 quart Arista film developing kit and it only cost $27.99. Instead of
from $18 to $33.
And you get to develop 8 rolls, which is great. I think if you have all the other supplies in the long run, it's totally worth it. Now all of these small bottles make 3 main chemicals to develop our film with. We're gonna have our developer, our Blix, and our stabilizer. And these chemicals can be reused later on, so we have glass bottles to save them in. And I got them all in 1 quart to match our kit. Also in 1 quart, we have our developing tank. The developing tank comes with 2 plastic reels inside, and I really prefer these reels because they have a system that's called a ratcheting system. So it's way easier to load film when you're able to feed it through the ratcheting system. Then you put your film away in the light-proof tank, and you're ready to go. But how do you transfer that film into a light-proof tank without exposing to light? Well, this is my darkroom. It's a bag. It looks kind of like an upside down t-shirt. It has a zipper at the bottom and it's double layered to prevent light leaking in. You put your supplies inside and you zip it up, and then you're able to use the armholes to transfer the film from the spool to the reel. Next up, you just need a few small supplies, a thermometer, a measuring cup, and a funnel. Some scissors, a can opener, or a film lead extractor, which is 2 really thin pieces of metal sandwiched together to pull out the lead of your film from your roll. Now you're ready to start developing.
Let's get the chemicals out of here.
So all of these small bottles are going to make 3 main chemicals for us to develop our film with. Your developer, your Blix, and your stabilizer. The developer starts the developing process on your film. The Blix washes away emulsion, and the stabilizer preserves your film and prevents bacteria and water drops from happening.
I'm gonna read the instructions really quick.
Now for the rest of it, it's honestly just following instructions. The chemicals are very easy to mix. All you gotta do is mix each chemical with warm water. For instance, the developer. You're mixing part A, part B, and part C into 120-degree water, and you're just doing that for all the chemicals. Now, not every brand is the same. This is more specifically for the Arista C41 color kit that I have, but they do make powdered forms of the chemicals. The powdered forms have a longer shelf life, and this is just the one that I tend to buy. Now, watching the mixing process for the chemicals is not as fun as it is to watch the developing process. So follow those instructions on the chemicals that you buy, make your 3 chemicals, and then you're ready to start developing.
There it is, empty. That's how we know we could open up the back now and the film won't be all jacked up.
Let's get it. That's the film. So this is what we're gonna be developing, 400 and 800 over there. So what people used to do is they would crack these open with a can opener and just like unspool the film, and the film would just be like all over the place. Another way that I liked is using this little thing right here that has like a little sliding clip. When you slide it, it pinches together and grabs the film and you just pull it out. The side with the top sticking up is usually the one with the tongue. So we're gonna do that. Side with the top sticking up, close this up, stick this in there, all the way up to its line, and I like to turn it. I like to turn it forward until I hear a click. I heard it. Or then you open it up, and you turn it backwards a little until it feels kind of stuck. There it goes. Close it up, pull out. Got it. Look at that. Now that the film lead is extracted, you can load it onto your film reel. We're using these plastic film reels. They're adjustable and they come apart to release the film when you're done. Here it is apart, and here it is being adjusted to a larger size film. Now we're going to be doing this in the dark, so you have to pay attention to this flat side here. That's the part where you're going to feed the film into. So what we want to do is grab our film, here's some test film, we're going to feed it in there, and what you do is leave a little tension on your thumb for the first couple turns, and then after that you could let go and just crank it until it's done. When it's done, it's a perfect spiral. This allows for the film to get completely washed by the developer and get the chemicals mixed up. Once you're done, you just reassemble, put both reels on the spool, add the retaining clip, drop everything into your light-proof tank, put the lid on, make sure it's sealed, and you're ready to develop. So I'm gonna put my whole container in there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the ends of the film so that way like it's a straight edge instead of like this tongue sticking out. All right, and for ease, I'm just gonna take this out of the, take the cartridges out. Sometimes I keep them on the spool like this, it's fine. Put that in there, put that in there. So that's in there, so zip up the first bag. All right, make sure it's closed all the way, no light getting in. You do not want light, film will be ruined. All right, it's sealed. Oh, actually I might need those scissors in there too to cut the ends. Put it through the armhole here. So I'll describe what I'm doing. I got a roll of film. Obviously don't know which one it is. All right. And I have the spool in my hand, feeling for that flat side. And I am now feeding. Okay, it's fed through. Time to ratchet. I feel it tightening. There it goes, it's going around. And it feels like we're at the point where we are stuck, so time to cut. Scissors were on the left. Time to cut, let's cut. All right, I'm on the second roll now. The first spool is done. Feeling for the flat side, like I said before. Feeding the spool on. Ratchet. All right, cut the other film. At the end, both spools are on. Feeling for the top and the bottom. Cool. Putting it in the tank. Putting on the lid. There we go, lid is on. We are ready to actually develop. All right, the film and cartridge, everything is in here. Ready to go, ready to develop. Nothing else in here. Here's like the fun part.
Now we're gonna refer to our directions again. And if you notice in the background, behind those directions, I have my pre-mixed chemicals sitting in water that is 125 degrees Fahrenheit. It's sitting in there because the chemicals need to be a certain temperature to develop. And here's our first step.
Pre-soak for 1 minute at 102.
102.7. All right, I feel like that works. I'm gonna pour it in here. All right, 1 minute starting.
So as we wait for this minute to finish up, I'll explain a very important part, and that's agitation. As you can see, I'm turning a little lever there, and what that's doing is spinning the reels inside, kind of like a washing machine. It just ensures that the liquid is getting all over the film. In this case, it's water. You do this like every 30 seconds or so for each chemical's processing time.
And the second step is develop for 3.5 minutes at 102. Now let's check the temperature of the developer. We want the developer to be at 102 as well. These bottles measure out perfectly to this tank. So we're gonna do developer, and we're gonna do that for 3.5 minutes.
So we're doing the same thing here, just with a different chemical. We're following the instructions for the time and agitating every 30 seconds and then returning the chemicals to our containers.
Now we're ready for the next step. We're gonna do Blix for 6.5 minutes. Blix.
Now each chemical has roughly the same process.
Continuous for the first 10 seconds. And then every 30 seconds after.
We wait, we agitate, we wait, we agitate, and we just do that for each chemical's time that they need to be inside the tank. This chemical needs to be 6 minutes, so we're gonna keep agitating every 30 seconds for 6 minutes. And this is pretty much what the bulk of developing film is. It's agitating, waiting, waiting, and then returning your chemicals to your canisters.
Now, wash for 3 minutes at 95 degrees to 105 degree water. I'll take it. So we're gonna let that run for 3. We could actually open this up now. So that might be a good idea.
The developer and the Blix are the first 2 chemicals that you use, and right after those, you could expose your film to light.
Oh, those colors that came out of that.
So far, we've done our pre-soak, our developer, Blix, wash, and now we're moving on to stabilizer. All that's left after that is to hang dry. So here we are doing our stabilizer. Technically, we can get away with not needing stabilizer, but this is a good finishing touch. It helps preserve your film, get rid of any bacteria that could grow on it, and it's just good for film storage. It's also good for preventing water spots during the drying process.
And now the film is developed. All right, my favorite part, seeing if it came out. So let's take off this retaining clip. Pull off one of the spools. The other one back in there. Gently. There it is. And those are our photos. They definitely came out. That was developed. So is this one. All right. There we go. Yeah, nice. They came out.
The drying process is pretty easy. You just gotta hang it up somewhere where it's not gonna touch the floor. I just hang it up in my kitchen.
Successful developing.
And that's exactly how I develop film at home. And here's a few photos after they're scanned. Thank you guys for sticking to the end. Please like and subscribe. And if you guys want to see how I scan my film, I'll make another episode for that. All right, I'll catch you guys later.
See ya.